Hey folks, Big Anklevich here, podcaster, author, and toy enthusiast. It's time for another episode of Cheap Toy Hunting today. This time, it's a sort of vicarious hunt. My podcast co-host Rish Outfield was the one that brought today's deals home for us. Let's see what we got here on Big Anklevich on Toys. Okay, so we've got two things here today on Cheap Toy Hunting. Both of them came from a Tuesday morning store. Yes, that is the name of a store. I know it sounds weird. It sounds really weird to me for some reason every time I hear anybody talk about it. But yes, Tuesday morning is another one of those stores, kind of like Ross or Marshall's, or one of those where they get stuff after it's had its time in the regular stores and has been, now it's being consigned to these markdown stores, discount places. So here's what I got. I got me a Wonder Woman, but not just any Wonder Woman. This is the Lynda Carter. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman. So Lynda Carter, Wonder Woman, and another thing that I really wanted is an Emperor, it says Imperial Royal Guard. I would say Emperor's Royal Guard because I think that's what they called it back in the Kenner days. I used to have this guy when I was a kid and man, I thought he was cool. He looked so cool in the movie. I was excited to hear that they had them on sale. The reason that Rish Outfield went to the Tuesday morning to look for these figures was because I saw somebody on Instagram make a post saying that they were selling for $10 at Tuesday mornings. Truthfully, I didn't think I had a Tuesday morning in my area, and then it turns out that I did. When I looked it up, I did have one. I went to it and they had nothing. But Rish Outfield went to his Tuesday morning back where he lives and they had everything. He got me a Wonder Woman and on top of that, he got me this Emperor's Royal Guard. Now I really wanted the Emperor's Royal Guard because they're putting out that new Emperor coming out, I think it's in October. You can already pre-order it now. Comes with several extra heads and he comes with a throne and I thought it would be so rad to have him on my shelf, a couple of Emperor's Royal Guards standing around him. That would look so cool. Now so far I've only got one. I'm hoping that I may come across another. I saw a post on Instagram months ago where somebody said they'd found Emperor's Royal Guards at a discount type store that they don't have in my area or in Rish Outfield's area. So I was unable to send anybody to go look for it for me at that time. But luckily they had some at the Tuesday morning. And so I got them. You can see on the Wonder Woman figure, it's $9.99. Let me turn this guy around here so you can see his price tag, also $9.99. So yeah, good deals for these guys. I believe they were both, around $20 to begin with. I'm pretty excited. Wonder Woman, the Lynda Carter Wonder Woman, if you're not old enough, if you're not as old as me, or probably older, then you just don't know. But Lynda Carter, she's still really beautiful, despite the fact that she's gotten much older. I remember seeing her not too long ago, although maybe it is a long time ago now for most people, on Sky High. She was in there as the principal, which I thought was a great kind of a gag or a nod or whatever you want to call it, to use her as the principal of a superhero high school. She looked great still on that show. But you go back to Wonder Woman, the TV show that she was in, and oh my gosh, she was so beautiful. You know what? Let's pop open her figure to start with, and I'll continue to tell my story of my first love. Okay, so here is the contents of the box. We got the figure. She comes with this cape, and also an extra set of hands that are holding hands, because she's got her punchy fisty hands on. She has a bunch of little stuff that comes with the stand. First of all, there's this card back thing that goes with the stand, plus the base that it goes onto. There's this clip that it looks like it's for going in here to... Oh shoot, I forgot one thing. It comes with this piece that you can stick into the stand here, or this clip, if you're not using it, can plug the hole so that it still looks nice or whatever. And then there's a bunch of holes, 6 different holes, and you get 6 different pegs that you can put into the holes for her to stand on, I guess. And I guess it looks better if they're not in there. If you're not, I mean, obviously if they're gold, it looks better if they're covered. I don't know why they didn't make them black so that you could just put them in there and then you wouldn't really see them. I think this was part of a series that they did. On the back of the box, there's a picture of a Michael Keaton Batman that they did, and then a Flash. I don't know, maybe he's supposed to be the Flash from a TV show. I never watched that Flash TV show. It came out at the wrong time for me when I wasn't really watching TV. I think I was in high school at the time. So that Flash TV show I've only kind of heard of. I've watched plenty of the new Flash TV show, and they have done versions of that guy. I'm unfamiliar with the Flash from the other time, but oh, I'm so familiar with Wonder Woman and Lynda Carter. Lynda Carter, I have to say that I love Lynda Carter. One time I worked at a grocery store stocking the shelves there at night, and me and a bunch of other guys would spend our days, you know, going around. We would load the stuff on the shelves, and then we'd do what they called facing the store, which meant that you would turn all the cans so they were facing forward, make it look as pretty as you could. Her head doesn't get a lot of movement. Her hair is just too luscious and full. And while we would do that, you know, we'd go as just one big group and we would chat about all sorts of stuff. And at one point we chatted about who the most beautiful woman was from our childhood. And there was a lot of guys who wanted to insist upon it being Charlie's Angels. And I don't know if they liked Farrah Fawcett or I can't even remember what the other chicks, the black-haired chicks, Jacqueline something I want to say. We can use that thing to hold her in place. Then one guy brought up Lynda Carter, and yeah, then I was sold. I was like, oh yeah, Lynda Carter, oh my gosh. Because I remember her being the first person that I ever saw on a TV show that I was attracted to. Her show was, I guess, in reruns. I'm gonna take this backing off, it's awful. Right at the time that I was just getting old enough, I guess, to start noticing females, start understanding that they were different and start wanting to know more. So yeah, I remember that very distinctly. And so Lynda Carter has a very special place in my heart. The cape, I'll have to admit, does not have a special place in my heart. I want to say that she actually had it on the TV show, although to tell you the truth, I haven't seen the TV show since it was on TV. So I don't really remember a lot. I remember I loved it. I remember I thought it was great, and I would watch it whenever I got a chance. I don't know. I've heard people bag on it since, you know, talking about how cheesy and 70s and stuff it was. I just can't believe it. Not my Lynda Carter. She was never cheesy. But I'm pretty stoked to get this figure. Now, truthfully, the head sculpt is not amazing. It's not terrible. Let me see if I can bring her in here real close. So here you can see her a little better. She's in closer, and the head sculpt's not terrible, but it's not great. It's I've seen a lot of much better. Maybe it's not just the sculpt. The sculpt may not be the problem. I've seen much better versions of real people's faces done now by Hasbro on Marvel Legends, where they're doing their MCU figures, and on Star Wars doing their figures. They've stepped it up in the last, it's been what, like a year or less probably. They've actually started doing that, but it's so impressive. I could give you an example real quick. I did a video on this guy. You look at this, Billy D. Williams, and he probably looks a lot more like Billy D. Williams than this looks like Lynda Carter, although it's, again, the Lynda Carter thing's not terrible, it's just not great. But yeah, can't you just see Billy D. Williams and Lynda Carter hanging out back in the early 80s? Hey baby, I got some Colt 45 here. Why don't we go back to my place? Sorry, that was a terrible version of Billy D. Williams. He was way smoother than that. I like the figure. It is pretty sweet. I do wish we could get more head up and down movement. Seems like I should be able to, but it doesn't want to happen. I love Wonder Woman. I'll probably never, ever put that cape onto her. Well, let me take that back. I'll put it onto her right now and then never, ever again. I want to say she may have actually had it. I mean, she must have, obviously, because why would they put something as cheesy as this into the package otherwise? But I know that she didn't wear this thing often because it's super impractical. This is a dress cape. She can only wear it on special occasions, like when Wonder Woman is marching in the parade and stuff. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to tie. Why didn't they give us a better way to attach this thing? There we go. How amazing does that look? Maybe I can turn this part down so you get more of the red. Oh yeah, look at that. Wonder Woman in the star-spangled cape. You know, I'm gonna have to keep this cape around and bust it out every 4th of July and make it like a 4th of July display. Because that's a very patriotic cape. And she's already got star-spangled panties. Again, I think I said this before, but I hate that word. What should we call it? Star-spangled trunks and golden eagle on her chest. So despite being from Themyscira, she's very patriotic to the United States of America. I really enjoy this figure, so I'm glad to have it, and I'm especially glad to have it for $10. Okay, so here is the Emperor's Royal Guard, or the Imperial Royal Guard. I think this guy looks really cool. I think he looks much better than the new movie guy. I want to say they're called the Praetorian Guard, where they're basically like a modern version of these guys. Much less robe and much more like Under Armour. And by Under Armour, I mean like with Princess Leia, you know, we looked and we saw that they actually have stuff underneath these crazy robes that they wear. And this guy's got armor and stuff, makes me think that if you were to rip off this robe and just leave him exposed, he would look very much like the Praetorian Guard. I don't want that. I'm not a fan of the Praetorian Guard. I'm a fan of the Emperor's Royal Guard. And I have to say, I'm not a huge fan, I've said it before, of cloth robes. But the material that they used with this cloth robe, I think, is so preferable to other material that I've seen used. Now, Princess Leia's robe, or dress, is, I guess, made of the same stuff. So maybe I'm wrong claiming that it's better. Here's Darth Vader. Now his robe looks great. Here's Obi-Wan, and his robe looks like doll clothes. Maybe it's just a cape versus an actual outfit. You know, the sleeves on this and the sleeves on this, I think, make it look like crap, whereas this is just a cape, and this waist cape, whatever you call that thing, and this is just a, you know, a over-the-shoulder kind of a draping cape. It's not a robe like Obi-Wan has, or a dress like Leia has. So maybe that's the key. Maybe it's just the cape, and the cape has to be made of this kind of fabric, because I've seen plenty of capes that are made of other fabrics that are not as, I don't know, this seems like it has enough weight to it to make it kind of hang, and it's not very stiff. It's really kind of loose, and you can get the ripples and stuff in the fabric, which is good. We can get these guys out of here. Now you can see one thing that kind of sucks about this guy is he came, for some reason, with a twisty tie things, and it went right across here, strapping his cape down. Maybe they had to do that to keep it from flapping out and getting ruined when they actually put it in the box. But it made a big line of wrinkles going all the way across this. And I don't know if I gotta iron this guy's outfit to get it to look right or what. But that kind of sucks. He's got a little itty bitty gun. And I guess maybe he could hold it in one of these hands. Can he? It's so small. There we go. Pull it up and pa-choo, 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 pew, pew, pew. He does have a holster for that gun, which is probably a good thing because it'll stay there and stay there forever. Goodbye, little gun. You're going in your place and you will stay there forever because you are useless. I never imagined the Royal Guard being the kind that would pack a Derringer. maybe I had an incorrect opinion of them. Now this thing here, I remember them holding. I also remember them leaning it against their shoulder. I always thought it was a big staff, but I remember it leaning up against their shoulders, a classic thing. And this is him holding it out. That's kind of the best that I can do as far as the posing goes with that, which is kind of a bummer. Again, another really cool figure, covered by a robe. So all that, look at that detail. And the legs and stuff. I wonder how much of that stuff is original and how much is reuse. I'm not very good at figuring that kind of stuff out. I know lots of people look at a figure and be like, oh, this is the Bucky Cat body and it's got the arms from the Skullbuster and it's got the, it's got the wrist cuffs from this. I'm not one of those guys. I am taken in by the reuse. To me, it's all original every time. I don't know the difference. Maybe if it was reused all the time, I would notice it, but I don't. But I wonder how much of the underside of this guy is reused. It should all be, to tell you the truth, because what a waste if it isn't, because you're just going to cover and you're never going to see it. Never. It would be like there being no reused chest parts on Zuckuss. Why would you do that? Zuckuss, you'll never see it. You have to cut that thick piece off just to see it. So hopefully there's nothing under there but a totally smooth torso. Or, just a totally reused one from whatever figure is the same size as Zuckuss. This guy's pretty rad. I'm going to be really happy with this guy, I think. And he's going to look great when I get the Emperor, too. I'll have to do a video about that when they show up and put them together. Take a nice good look at this guy. Put him right in close. Yeah. Isn't that beautiful? I have to admit that I am so happy to have this guy. And for half price, $10 for the Emperor's Royal Guard. That is a deal worth getting. Tuesday morning, you could still check. It could be that there's some left. More than likely, it's probably gone because I went back to try and look for other Emperor's Royal Guards and I found none. Of course, I never found any in the first place. Thanks to Rochelle Field for grabbing these for me because they are worth having. He is cool and she is beautiful. There you go. Could there be anything sweeter than a Linda Carter Wonder Woman? I mean, the Emperor's Royal Guard is pretty sweet, but Linda Carter, my first crush. Okay, folks, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That way you won't miss any of the awesome content that I've got for you. It's awesome! And lastly, if you've got something to say, please leave a comment. Who was your first crush? Alright, thanks for watching. Big Anklevich on toys.